In this video, we'll help you get AudioCipher set up on your Mac device. After purchase, you'll receive a downloadable zip folder, so go ahead and start by right-clicking and selecting Open with Archive Utility. In the AudioCipher folder, you'll see the installer package, as well as a README file that explains how the app works, and an AUCI file. This is a collection of audio and MIDI files that will be loaded into AudioCipher, and you can use these for your projects whether you're running AudioCipher as a standalone application or a plugin. So let's begin by double-clicking the installer package, and then just proceed through the installation process, and be sure to leave everything assigned to the default installation paths. Once the installation is successful, you can go ahead and close, grant access to the downloads folder so you can remove the installer package. So running the installation has installed AudioCipher as a standalone application, and it has also added plugin files to your audio library. This includes a VST3 file and an audio component. If you were already an AudioCipher user prior to installing this latest version, your VST3 and audio component files will update automatically. So let's just take a look at where those plugin files are located. Start by opening a Finder window, and at the top select Go, hold down the Option key and open the Library menu. Then select Library, Audio, and Plugins. And here you'll see Components, with AudioCipher listed as an audio component, and a VST3, which also contains AudioCipher. Let's set up AudioCipher as a VST3 plugin in Ableton Live. Begin by opening your Ableton preferences. To do this, you can use Command comma or Control comma if you're on Windows, and then you'll want to go to the Plugins tab. You'll notice that Ableton can check both the system folder and a custom folder for VST3s. So if you've manually added AudioCipher to a custom VST3 folder, you'll just want to make sure that this is toggled on, and then rescan your plugins. Once Ableton has detected your AudioCipher plugin, you can click and drag it straight onto a MIDI track. We recommend starting with an additional MIDI track. I've just loaded up a Serum patch here so we have a virtual instrument to test, and we also recommend using an audio track so you can pull audio files from AudioCipher into your Ableton session. Now let's come over to the MIDI generator and create a chord progression. I've selected chord mode, and I've loaded up D minor with 7th chords. And let's just go ahead and use the word music. So we can play back in AudioCipher. That gives us a rough idea of the chord progression we're working with, but let's go ahead and drag that onto this Serum track so we can hear it with a virtual instrument. We can double click on it to check out the notes in the piano roll and play it back to give it a listen. You'll notice that some of these notes are longer than others, and that's because I've used the Join Notes feature to combine repeating notes. And of course, you don't need to use exactly what AudioCipher generates for you. We encourage using it as a starting point to inspire new ideas and explore different chord voicings or melodies that you may not have thought of otherwise. So for example, we've received this chord progression from the MIDI generator, but what if we want to turn this into more of a bass line with chords above it? We can just select some of the notes that were generated and kick those down a couple octaves, and then we have a whole new idea to work with. Now let's create a new card in AudioCipher and upload our chord progression as a MIDI file. Begin by returning to the MIDI generator in AudioCipher, and you'll notice that everything is still configured here. So we have our prompt music. Let's click the New Card button to set up a music card. You'll notice that there's a MIDI file here already. This is the original chord progression, but let's go ahead and upload the one that we edited. We'll first need to export our MIDI clip. To do this, you can right-click on the MIDI clip itself and select the export option, or use the keyboard shortcut Command-Shift-E, or on Windows, Control-Shift-E. We recommend saving this in a dedicated MIDI folder on your device so it's easy to find. And now if we return to our new music card in AudioCipher, we can click Add Files, do a quick search for the MIDI clip that you just exported, and select Open. And now you'll see it listed down here in the MIDI files section. We can do the same thing with audio. So if we want to take this exact MIDI clip and convert it to audio, we can right-click and select Freeze Track. And now that it's frozen, right-click again and select Flatten. So now this MIDI file has been converted to an audio file. Click on the audio track and use the keyboard shortcut Command-Shift-R, or on Windows, Control-Shift-R, and then you can export the audio file, following the same process as we did for the MIDI export, saving it to a folder that's easy to locate, and then adding it to the music card in AudioCipher using the Add Files button.